to see the interest that our local media has taken here, whether it be television or the local papers. Mr. Bright has shared his talents with us on 2 previous occasions, and we were just elated with the opportunity that he provided for us. Once again, we want to welcome him and some other very special people who will be introduced to you a bit later. We are especially grateful to our art instructor, Mrs. Baco, who has worked closely with Professor Bright and has coordinated the activities for today. Mrs. Baco is a very capable person who genuinely loves what she does each day, and the exceptional results that she obtains from students is certainly proof of that. Without further comment, I will turn the assembly over to Mrs. Baco.
There's a lot of people involved in this program, and most of all, my 8th graders are very special kids. I hope that today, with everything we've been through in the last 2 years, that myself, the musicians, and Mr. Bright can inspire you to go on into the fine art career. We have some very talented people. I want to thank all my volunteers from the 8th grade at help. I especially want to thank Matt Caseley and Kelly Green because they volunteered to be up on stage to help Mr. Bright with his paints or whatever he needs, and they're going to be spattered probably, so when they get done they'll probably be speckled. Also, I would like to thank Viviano Music. Dennis Viviano has helped me out before, and he's done a lot for the students. For the city of Niles, you guys have had lessons with him, but he comes out and he's always there when you need him, so he supplies the sound system, and Mike Rock back there is working it, so we know it's going to be perfect. I'd like to thank the academic boosters for all their support. Without them, I don't think all this could be possible. I'd like to thank my mother, who's up in the balcony, for the lovely flowers that she always does for me. I'd like to thank Mrs. Weaver for allowing me to do such special programs for the school. Without her, I don't think it would be possible. And all the teachers for putting up with me, running around, and so forth, and all my little ideas that I have. And especially the custodial help. Jerry, Rich, Hazel, and Rosemary, put up with me after hours to try to get things organized, and they're always there for me, and I really want to thank them. And also a special thanks to the principals, Mike Lastic and Dr. Agrilli, who released Carla Dean today from her duty so she could play drums and vibes, and released Rayanne Cleo. She's the choral director at the high school, to come play the flute. Also, Mrs. Dean and Ms. Cleo are going to play a special number, and Rayanne plays the flute, Carla plays the drums, and I'd like you to try to keep the noise down so you could hear their performance. Also, I'd like to thank all the musicians, but Mr. Bright will introduce them all to you, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Bright. Without him, this wouldn't be possible.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baco, for that generous introduction. And I'd like to thank the Niles Edison Junior High School once again for having me out here as your guest. I have adopted this school because I think there is a great deal of talent and skill present here, perhaps more than I've ever seen in a grouping or a setting. And I'm very encouraged by the energy that I see coming out of the art program here. Therefore, I want to be a part of your future and a part of your careers and development as artists. This is a very special occasion today because most of us rarely have an opportunity to really see a work of art being created. We have an opportunity to see the work after it has been created. We can go to a gallery or a museum and see the work on the wall. but we are always mystified as to how it came about and what the artist was doing to create such a piece. So today you're going to be a part of this creative experience, and you're going to play a major part in what happens on this canvas and also what happens in this room. What I'm going to try to do is to capture the energy of the room, the energy of the music, and my own inner creative thrust that's going to be stimulated not only by the music but by your energy as well. So I want everyone in this room to feel relaxed and free to express themselves. I don't want anyone in here to be uptight or prohibited. I don't want you to feel that you can't express yourself. If you see something that's happening, express yourself, because your expression is very important. As a matter of fact, it's vital to what's happening here on the canvas. And as we engage in that, what can be called a call and a response, you're going to know almost precisely when this painting is going to come to an end. I have no idea at this point what I am going to paint. I have no idea even with regards to the color. I have some preliminary, primary things laid out on the canvas, but the color is going to be created by mood, and also the forms and shapes that will emerge will also be created by the mood in the room. You will see a lot of things happening in my painting. You'll see images emerging, forms that you can recognize emerging, and then I will destroy them. Perhaps you'll see something beautiful and you'll want me to stop, and I'll continue on and maybe destroy it. But I want you to understand at the outset that this process of creation and destruction is exactly what we are involved with in nature and in life. There are no straight lines in the universe. Everything is moving toward a curve. Everything in the universe is inextricably tied together. And for every positive, there's a negative flow. And for something to grow, something else has to die. And this process of death and rebirth and one thing emerging from one stage into another stage is exactly what life is about. So I hope that seeing this come about on the canvas will give you courage to go through your lives with a lot of integrity, because you're going to have to face a lot of things in your lives that are going to change. You're going to want your life to be perfect, and you may arrive at a perfect point in time, and you might want to freeze your life at that point, but you're going to have to change. You're going to have to age. You're going to have to experience. And so we are all equipped to do that. We have a magnificent mind and a magnificent body of information that's passed on to us from genes and education and so forth. So we are very highly evolved and equipped to see this thing come about. So my painting is going to go through all of these changes. And then there will come a magic moment when everything in the room will kind of settle down and we'll know that this painting is coming to a closure. I am an abstract expressionist painter. I paint emotions. I do not paint necessarily objects and things. I can paint anything I see, but I'm more interested in painting the vibrations that come from my heart, my soul. Music is a vibration. That's why I'm experimenting with the concept of painting with live musicians, because the musician has to deal with color, harmony, tonality, balance, rhythm, all of the elements that the artist has to deal with. I'll have to deal with color, value, tonality, balance, rhythm in my work. And I can hear that, and it filters through me, and I bring it out in terms of color and shape and form. So the musicians will affect me, you will affect me, and there will come a point when perhaps my work will affect you as well. So I want you to sit back and relax, have a very good time. Please, teachers, release them from stringent rules. I know there are some standard rules in the school that I want all of you to abide by, such as no chewing gum in the auditorium and things of that nature, but other than that, just relax and have a good time. And then when we're finished, we'll have a brief period in which we can discuss this concept. I want to thank Mrs. Bako once again for having me here, Mrs. Weaver and the board for helping to support this creative experience, and I hope you will enjoy it, and I hope it will be meaningful to you as young artists and students. The musicians who will be working with me today are Carla Dean, whom you know. She'll be playing drums and percussions. Rayanne Khalil will be playing flute. Quinn Caffey will be playing bass guitar. Patrick N. McClendon will be playing tenor saxophone. Doug Kimbrell will be on drums, and my brother Richard will be playing the keyboards. They're all gifted artists. They have not had the opportunity of really rehearsing and playing together, so their music is going to be as spontaneous as my art. So join in, give them your energy, and let's all have a ball. I think it's almost about there, don't you? to thank you very much for a really worthwhile and meaningful experience. If I can have your attention, I'd like to field any questions you might have for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Yes.
What's going through your head while you're listening to our response of the
He's asking me what's going through my head, the band, the audience, and so forth. It's the intensity of the sound, the color that it makes, and my own kinetic rhythms that I'm making from my body. I'm dancing in my work. My mother must have been jumping to the jive in the womb. I don't know, but I've been painting since I was 9 years old. I've been listening to music all my life, but I just started experimenting with this live painting performance in the last 16 years. And great musicians inspire me, and energetic audiences. That was not from the band, but from the rise of intensity in the audience. Something happened in the audience, and I went right into it, squeezing it out of the tube. It wasn't music, it was energy from you. Because there was a lot of stuff coming. Well, I saw her work in the Still Valley Art Teachers Exhibition, and she invited me to come over one year to do a judging of your student art show. And when I came over to see your work, there was so much high quality work here, I asked her if I could work with her for a while with some of the students. And the proof of that is all the awards that your students are winning in the National Scholastics. You're doing an incredible job in producing some high quality work here. Yes. Does different music have different effects on me? Live music. Yes, absolutely so. It's much more invigorating than recorded music. Yes. I'm sorry? Well, I'm a human being, and I'm born in the United States. And in the United States, we read from left to right. Most of our kinetic energy is flowing from left to right because of our orientation. So on a long horizontal painting like this, I'm moving generally from left to right. And then I start on the right side and I try to homogenize and move back through. It's the same way as music is running. There's a rhythm section, the drummer is keeping a beat, and when the soloist is playing, the soloist is playing around the rhythms and the beat, but the beat is steady and is generally moving on a lateral structure. And that's the same way that I'm moving here in my work. Does that answer your question? Yes. How many do I do a year? Maybe 1,200. Not all of them are great paintings, but I work almost daily. And sometimes I'll get in a roll and I'll turn out 10 or 15 paintings, in one session. But I'm painting constantly. And then I'll go back and I'll edit through my work, and I will only show what I consider to be consistent stuff. I consider this to be a strong painting, and I'm going to leave it here for a while and have you analyze it a little more. But there's lots of configuration and form in that work, and I don't know exactly what I should call it. Perhaps I should leave that up to you. Let's get one over here. Well, I really truly enjoy working with my brother because he understands me instinctually. But the most exciting experience I've had in painting with a live musician was with Art Blakey who was a dead drummer. He just died in 1989. He was the greatest jazz drummer of all times. And he came to Youngstown. I hired him, and he brought a young trumpet player named Wynton Marsalis, who is today one of the greatest jazz trumpeters in the world. We painted for about 2.5 hours, and I did a very incredible painting that evening. But I like all kinds of music, and I like painting not only to music, but to dancers. Yes. I'm sorry. Did someone transfer your question? Oh yes, I can work with the rhythms. Actually, there was one rhythm that I didn't understand your chant, but the rhythm was enough to really start the musicians on a whole other pattern. I can work just from your rhythms. Can I paint without an audience? And without music? Yes, I can. Yes, I mean, there are points when I'm in my studio where I'm not with an audience, obviously, and there's some points when I'm not even listening to music. There are points when I take my work into nature and just listen to the sounds of nature. But I can paint under any circumstance, but it's so exciting to have this kind of audience involved with this kind of painting, where you're working spontaneously and improvisationally. Because it makes you do things that you normally would not do under normal circumstances. It gives you more courage to explore color and shape. 2 more questions. Yes, I've received a number of awards for my work from museums and galleries. I've won 32 first awards in one-man or group shows, jury shows. And my works are held in 9 museums around the country and abroad. Yes. Well, the circle is for unity in my mind. I like a closure. I think everything is moving toward a closure. And so I put the circle in to indicate that everything in the room was coming to a closure. The wiggly lines, again, I don't know what those meant. I really brought that on when I felt the energy rise in the audience. I just grabbed the tube of paint and it moved. Yes. What kind of painters influenced me? The first painter that had a great impact on me was a painter named Hans Hofmann. The other was a 7th grade teacher that I had that motivated me. That's why I'm so involved with junior high school students, because I realize that in this age group, you have the highest potential for your gifts. It's just a matter of sorting them out in your minds. There are a lot of confusing things happening at this age level for all of us. We are lucky to go through it. But if you can sort out your gifts at this age and find some good role models, most of you can really find your way. And I found my way with Hans Hofmann and a teacher of mine named John Navarezny, who was a teacher of mine at Hillman Junior High School that influenced me. And I kept that influence all my life, and today he's my colleague at the university. We share an office together. One more question. What colors do I like to use? Well, I like to start with the primaries, red, yellows, and blues, and then from there I can go anywhere, because red, yellow, and blue creates every other spectrum. The red and blue obviously makes the violet, the yellow and the orange, or yellow and the red make the orange, and so forth. So I'm trying to keep a real bright color field going in my work. One more. She asked if the rhythm in the painting alters the color in my work. It does. Sometimes I can't get to the palette fast enough. Things are going through your head much faster than your kinetic body can pick up paint sometimes. I wish I could develop something that would create color on my fingers so that I could just kind of paint from my fingers. But you have to mix color, and mixing color on the canvas and the rhythm sometimes gives you enough latitude to slow down to blend color. You see me working a lot, blending a lot of color. I'm actually manipulating and creating colors on the canvas. Mrs. Weaver, how's our time? It's 5 to 2. Do we have more time for questions? Oh, okay. Well, then we have a little more time, and I want to have you come up and look at the painting closely. Yes. The largest painting I ever created was a walk-in environment, which I did in 1964 at Kent State University. I created a room. It was 18 feet square, and I put the observer inside of the room. It was one continuous painting, 18 feet square, and it had an 8-foot-high ceiling, and I painted the ceiling, walls, and the floor just as though it was one painting, and I put the observer inside of this room, and I had a creative experience with the color changes and everything happening in the room. I call it a walk-in environment, and it was truly one of the first environmental works in the country at that time. I brought it back from Kent, and I showed it at the Trumbull County Fair one year, and after that I destroyed it. I couldn't get it in the house. It's too large. Other than that, my average size is about a 6 by 8 foot painting. I like to paint large. I want the observer to feel as though the person can actually enter my work. Yes. Yes. Would you bring his question up?
Do you teach art?
Yes, I do teach art. I'm a professor of art at Youngstown State University, where I've taught since 1965. Yes. What motivated me to do what? Oh, well, I was appointed to the Ohio Arts Council in 1971. And during that time, I was at the height of my painting career. But because I was on this Arts Council, I had to go to a lot of meetings in Columbus, and I could not paint every day. So one day I was coming back from Columbus, and I wanted to paint so badly that I said I was going to hire my brother and put him on a stage, and we were going to create music before an audience, and I was going to have an opportunity to paint spontaneously when I got back home. So we went to Kent State and experimented with it, and it came off just fine, and I've been creating them ever since. Yes. What's my most famous painting? It's a painting called Bromosynthesis. I did it in 1971, and it's famous because it was published on a cover of a book, and it's been around to a number of museums. But it's completely out of context with my style today. It's a representational painting. I think many of you saw it when you came to my studio. It's the painting with the Mona Lisa's head and the African girl. I was trying to make a statement about man at that time, taking things too far out of context. We judge things oftentimes erroneously. We should not judge. The only person we should judge really is ourselves, but we have a tendency to judge others harshly sometimes. And sometimes we judge people for the wrong things. So what I was doing was trying to make a statement about judging. If you take something out of its context and put it back together, most people are afraid to speak about it because you only want to judge something that you can name. If you can't name it, you don't want to touch it. Yes. What else do I do besides paint? I teach. I shoot pool for a hobby. And I write a lot. Yes. I love jazz music because jazz is very similar to what I'm doing. It's very improvisational. It's not something that's played in the same manner each time. So I listen to a lot of jazz, but I like all forms of music from classical to rock. Oh, wow. Very much. That's quite a surprise. It's good to be 16 again. How did I become an artist? Well, art, like anything else, takes a lot of discipline. You don't become anything if you don't try hard. And you can't become anything if you don't accept that you're going to fail sometimes. I had a lot of failures in my life. You know, it took me a long time to realize what God had given me in terms of a natural gift. Because I wanted to be a barber, and then I wanted to be a psychologist. And ultimately, I am an artist because that's what I am. And it's taken all my life to develop it, and I'm still practicing. Yes. Yes, I do paint portraits. As a matter of fact, I can paint anything I see. If I had any time, yes, I could paint you in about 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, the mind is like a camera. It can do anything that you think it can do.
Mr. Bright, while we're here at Niles, Edison, we'd like to wish you a happy birthday and thank you for everything you've done for us.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Bright will be over on this side over here if you would like autographs. Thank you very much.